Now we're down here at Scottsdale again, and another tour truck. And I'm going to show you today something that you have never seen before, something that club golfers can't buy, and that is exclusive to tour players, and specifically a driver head, a triple diamond head. A triple diamond Callaway AI smoke head that nobody has ever seen before. I feel really kind of, I don't know, privileged that I can show you this. Now, as well as looking at this driver, there is some shafts on here, the likes of John Ram, Xander Schauffele users, that are really, really premium, really, really expensive. And Tom from Callaway is going to show us around this tour truck. It is massive, and honestly, the biggest tour truck that I have ever seen. Look at the size of this. So let's jump on, let's meet Tom, let's see this driver and see these shafts. Okay guys, we're now on the truck. Tom, thanks for having me on, mate.
No problem, Alex.
You know what's really weird about this? We used to play junior golf together, and now you're showing me around the Callaway tour truck.
That's cool, isn't it? There you go.
Very cool. This is actually massive. I didn't realise standing outside, both of these sides fly out.
Extend, that's right, yeah. So obviously on it now you can see we need a little bit more space than what would be on a conventional one. So yeah, a little bit extra space is not a bad thing. Okay,
so talk me through this. I can see a lot of names on here. This is where I guess each week players would come on, all their stuff, like their golf balls, their hats, is all kept on here.
Yeah, it's almost like a locker really. Obviously it's a little bit quiet at the minute because it's not been out on tour yet this year. It's starting again at the end of May in Belgium. So since the end of last year, it's obviously been out doing these kind of days, showing it around a little bit, but it has a bit of an off-season really. So yeah, obviously use this one here like Wedges, so the visors are in there that he would use. We'll stock him up with some gloves for the week.
Look at that.
So yeah, have a look at that. We've got his Tour Authentics in there as well, which is perfect.
Just
see that, look at that, wonderful. And then obviously the balls will be different now because we've launched a new tour ball this year. But obviously then we'd stock their balls up as well, so they've got 6 dozen or so to use.
Every week?
Every week. So that'll be replanned, and to be honest with you, if they need more in the drawers here, we can replenish them if they need. Hopefully, I wouldn't think they would do, but obviously if they need more, there is more available.
And do they often change golf balls, or do they just stick to the same one each year?
No, it's quite rare they would change. Obviously, we've had a lot of change in the off season because of the new tour ball, which is getting a lot of good traction. So when this is going out again into Belgium at the end of May, we'll stock it up fully with the new golf balls. At the moment, there's very little on here in terms of that because of that change. But no, I think once they're settled, that'll be that really. They won't move around too much.
Can I give you that back? Yeah, I was going to try and pick one of these at the top, but since I'm really short, we'll go down low. And actually, Danny Willet, Masters champion. Yeah. Not recently, but he's back actually playing this week after 6-7 months off.
Yeah, shoulder up. So good first couple of rounds as well, which is great to see.
These are his. Let's see what size glove he takes.
It's only a small.
That's my size. And have a look at that. The hats are slightly different. Like Tom was saying, like they're a little bit embossed. I guess that's for TV, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Like,
just so it's a little bit clearer with the logo. But again, obviously with that being a chrome soft one. Last year's ball, so they'll all be updated soon as well when it goes out on the tour again this year.
Do you reckon he'd mind if I robbed his hat?
Well, you'd have to ask him. Give him a call. So yeah, everything on there. And then in here we'll have mitts, brollies. There's some extra hats on here, just little different styles that some of the guys use. So we've got the rope hat there, which is quite cool, quite popular. Different shapes in terms of head sizes. Then some of the ladies stuff there as well. Again, obviously, just something for everyone there, trying to cover all bases.
That rope hat's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, nice that with the little. I like that with the little. We haven't started to sell one like that yet, but I think we will do in future.
Yeah, you see loads of different hats out now. Like everyone sort of wears that.
I think Minwoo Lee's been wearing one like that.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely, loads of different styles there, but all generic in terms of the branding. So all got the Chrome Soft branding, the Paradym branding. Obviously, these guys are on telly a lot, so good exposure for us there. So make sure that the brand's nice and visible.
Okay, so they can come and pick their balls. They can just rock up on here. We've got a little office in here. They can chill
little meeting room in there. Whatever they need to do, agents. Even just if they just want to chill out and have a coffee and just have a bit of a break because this is essentially a little home from home for them.
So you've been on the range, you've fitted somebody. Where does this all start now? Because I've seen a few tour trucks now, and it works all a little bit differently, doesn't it? Like players that are contracted have to use certain clubs, and there's sort of maintenance from week to week. And then sometimes, like especially with a brand like Callaway, like the driver, always very popular.
Yeah, obviously I've got a lot of non-contracted guys using the driver. But yeah, on the tour team, three or four of them will be out on the range doing the fittings. To be honest with you, the busiest period for fittings probably sort of December and January because obviously we're launching new products in February. Yeah. So the guys spend normally 6 weeks out in the Middle East, getting them all into the new products, getting that ready for launch. Because obviously as soon as it hits the shelves, we want the players to be using it, and obviously it's important those guys are confident in the products ahead of the season, especially with obviously January being a big month for them in terms of the tournaments. But yeah, we use obviously the fit sheets here, so the guys can make a fitting out on the range, and then a couple of guys will be in here building.
For different guys.
Yeah. Just don't get me wrong, that I'm sure if they wanted to swap around they could do, but there's a couple of guys who are designated builders, and then the rest are the fitters.
Cool.
So they would bring the order pad in, pass it over there, and then essentially we could knock the club up for them. So everything on there specific, they're really specific: swing weights, length, grip thickness. So
look at that.
I'm sure you know what it's like with some of these top players. The stuff is super detailed.
It's like head, shaft, length, grip, loft, lie, flex. I mean, we just think get a golf club, get fitted for it, but actually so much more goes into it.
It can be quite detailed.
And even like the adjust here.
Yeah, so different settings on the sleeves. So I've seen some of the guys have grips set at different angles, so not always straight down. Some might say 1 o'clock, as it were, have it slightly open. So there's loads of different things, and obviously a lot of different types of swing methods out there. So lots of different types of players. Definitely no kind of one size fits all solution for these guys.
And do the guys keep like certain specs? For example, let's take Danny Willet.
Yeah.
Will they have his specs
so,
on a sheet?
Yeah, we have an app that we use, which is kind of like preloaded with all the specs. So that's just something that the tour guys will use, and it's almost like a little database for them.
Awesome. So we've got our spec. Talk me through this. I can see some shafts here.
Absolutely. So I'll just grab the brochure. So basically, in here is kind of all the shafts that we really use. And obviously, quite cleverly, the guys have got a matrix here. So in the brochure, you know where everything is. So look at that. That's quite a rare one. The new Synergy.
That up at random,
Yeah. So top 2 shelves are all steel iron shafts, and then moving down, these are pretty much all wood shafts and hybrid shafts. Most popular ones these days, obviously you'll see a lot of Ventus out there. Ventus red, Ventus blue, Ventus black, really popular. We've got Xander plays this one here, where is it now? Diamond PD. So yeah, there's a couple of, so Tensai White's a good one as well.
I mean, these are quite rare shafts, aren't they?
Tensai Orange, yeah, absolutely. So these are, I mean, as a lot of the guys will know, these kind of shafts cost a fair bit, to be fair.
I'm trying to work out where I got this from now.
We'll work that in a minute. We'll use the brochure. You can leave it on the side for the
I'm going to leave it there because I've totally forgotten where I got that.
Don't worry about that. But so Xander's playing. Xander plays the PD.
That's really
60.
cool. Have a look at this.
That's the shaft that Xander used in his driver there. So
is that his gaming this week?
Yeah, he's using that one this week at Augusta. Yeah, so he's been using that one for probably the last 12 months. So that's definitely a nice one there. And to be fair though, as I said to you before, Tour AD is always a good one as well. You've seen that one, Tiger used that one for a while. That's another really popular one. But yeah, listen, everything on there that we would need to do a fitting. Pretty rare you'd pull them all out, obviously. Guys will have favourites, things they like, things they don't like. But essentially in here we've got them all. That's where everything is, so we know everything's listed, and they've got a spec guide there as well if they want to look at what each particular shaft does as well. Okay,
so then we're onto the build.
We're onto the build.
Behind the ropes now, we're getting in here.
Absolutely. So basically all the components are in the drawers, and obviously on the top counters are all different machines that the guys are going to use to help build the clubs. So once you've got your head, so we'll get a driver to start with, shall we?
Let's have a look at these.
A few drawers full, just for good measure, and making sure we've got all the different options available there.
And these are replenished each week, aren't they? So these are
just depending on what we need. I mean, there's a full offer on there basically from 8.5 up to 10.5. Again, just make sure we've got all bases covered really.
Now, this is something I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
This is a head that is exclusive, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So this is just your regular triple diamond head here. With obviously we measure all the heads and faces individually. So obviously to make sure the loft is the true loft. So obviously that 9-degree head is a 9-degree. With the line also the actual exact weight of the head, which can be adjusted with the bottom pieces as we know there. So that's your normal triple diamond. But then on tour we have a bit of traction with the triple diamond max as it's known. So kind of makes sense really. It's a low spinning head that has a little bit more forgiveness. So that's something that we have seen people play a lot, and to be fair, going forward it'll probably be something that is very popular for the rest of the year. So it'll still feature the nice low spinning characteristics of the triple diamond, but it just has that little bit more forgiveness. And just before, like we said before, it shows you that even these kind of top players are going to benefit from that extra forgiveness. So
how do they make it a max version? What is like technically like the
technically just a shift in the centre of gravity position. So a little bit more perimeter weighting. Centre of gravity comes back a little bit away from the face. As soon as you do that, you're going to make the drive a little bit more forgiving. So that's the reason why we've got that as an option alongside the conventional triple diamond, which is also very popular. But with each player, when you do the fittings, we don't essentially know which one they're going to prefer, but it's nice that we've got the choice there with the two heads.
So they're the same CC, just slightly different weighting.
Slightly different shapes and slightly different internal perimeter weighting. Just they look very similar on the eye, but will perform slightly differently. Yeah.
Interesting. And what sort of players have been using this? Out of interest?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot. Yeah, I mean on the DP World Tour, it's probably, I think it's around half and half on the max and the standard. We've had wins with both of them already this year, so yeah, it's just totally player dependent. Over here we have got. So in here we'll also get the ferrule. Something to show you something a little bit different here. That we can obviously sell these as well. We can get these for retail, but the little red dot on here denotes this is a flatter adapter. So that'd be like a degree flatter roughly than a standard one. So that's what the little red dot means.
Not for many club golfers.
No, not really. To be honest with you, not something that you really would need to use. But just a lot of guys on tour don't like to see the ball going left. So flatter stuff on the hole generally is good. So yeah, you'll obviously build your adapter, glue gun over there, shaft straight in, and then to be honest with you, as soon as we grip that, that's kind of good to go.
Yeah.
Obviously loads and loads of grips on here. These are all obviously Golf Prides, Lamkin cords. Obviously, again, there's a load of different choices from what the guys like to use and like to play. And again, that's not something that people really change. That's going to be fairly set once they've picked their grip. They'll be fairly set on that. And then I think we've got the multi compounds, which are obviously really popular. Obviously with the align, without the align, +4 standard. Yeah.
What would you say is the most popular grip that you'd see?
To be honest with you,
just what you'd see.
Yeah. Most of the clubs that they build on here, if the guy's just going to do some testing, Tour Velvet is probably the most popular. Yeah, to be fair. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a good number that use multi compound, but most of the clubs I see coming off here that are just going to be generally tested have got Tour Velvet. So.
And just going back to that lie angle, the reason is like a lot of club golfers, we all hit it right. So for you to make the club flatter, you're going to hit it further right.
Correct.
So that's why you probably wouldn't see a lot of that, like, I guess, in an ordinary fitting if you come down to Scottsdale. Most club golfers need it a little bit more upright to stop us hitting it as right. Okay, Tom, we've seen drivers. Let's have a look at irons and wedges as well.
Yeah, sure. So, so irons are in here. So we've got... Yeah, I mean, you've got quite a few different things in here. Yeah, I mean, obviously some wedges in here as well, some high lofted wedges. The irons are quite interesting. So the irons will typically come without the finished weight in. So there's a finished CB iron.
Can I have a little bit?
Yeah, of course you can. So it feels quite light without that weight. It's quite interesting. And then there's obviously that's a finished CB iron.
Oh my god.
So the reason for that is obviously we can put kind of any weight in there. So the weights are just here. So in here you've got everything ranging from a 5 gram weight up to a 20 gram weight in there. So they'll all go in the back of the iron if we need to dial it in. But the easiest thing to do is start with nothing in there really, and then we can try different weights in the back. And then it's the same adjustment we use for the driver shafts. It's just a little wrench, and we can dial the weights in to be specific there.
I just thought they'd come like that. So
you would think so. But to be honest with you, there's almost no point putting one in because until we know what the player's wanting to try, then we can start from scratch, and it's dead easy just to put one in and take one out.
So you go in the past where they'd put, I guess, a bit of hot melt or lead. You don't need to do that now. You can adjust.
Not as much. So the idea of that is, swim weight, and also it'll change the centre of gravity a little bit on the club. So if you put a little bit more weight in the bottom, it'll pull the CG down, launch a bit higher. If you take a little bit of weight out there, it'll actually move the CG up a little bit and launch a bit flatter. So you can, just those little small tweaks, even though it's only a few grams, can make all the difference really.
That's seriously cool.
Yeah, really good, isn't it? That's
something I didn't even realise that.
So and then let's have a look. There's a little timer on this one. So let's have a look at the wedge draw now. So
I like wedges. I think wedges is one of my most favourite thing.
Class. And obviously the good thing about our wedges as well, obviously there's a lot in there, but there's a lot of different grinds and stuff here. So obviously we can grind them on the belts there if we need to. If we need to take some bounce off or make the leading edge a little bit more aggressive. If the guys are playing in Scotland on the links or at the Open, that's probably something we'll do quite a lot of. Most of the wedges in here, as you'll see, are either mid to low bounce. There are a few high bounce options in there, but the low bounce tends to be more popular with the sort of guys on tour. And then so Jaws Raw, which is our current wedge. Obviously a lot of them play that. And then we have got a bit of inventory of the MD5 as well because that was a popular one. So
I like look at that rust.
So the raw, like more. So the Jaws one starts fully chrome. This one you can tell has got a little bit more rust in it. So 2 wedges that we carry that are both very popular on the tour. And then in this drawer here we have got some. Again, it's a little bit rare that like midweek they would change a wedge model. They're much more likely to just move into the same again. Freshen up the grooves. And then kind of cool things here, like you've got the driving irons again come with no weights in. So that's like a 1 iron, which is again not for everyone, but again when we're playing the links courses, we go 1 to 4 iron in those, so you've got plenty of choice there with driving irons.
And they can strengthen them. And
of course, we can change the loft, obviously because they're forged, so they'll move around dead easily. And again, we can alter the weight, so we can get them perfect in terms of the swim weights and how the head feels for them there as well.
One question I've got for you, and I know a lot of people watching this video will ask this: what is like the most popular iron on tour? Like, because I think you look at it as a club golf and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I want to use that iron, but
Yeah,
actually, I'm not good enough for them, or what is
Sure.
that?
Yeah, so on like the ladies tour, for example, it'll be that one you're holding there, so Apex Pro.
Yeah.
Because that's got a little bit of technology in it to help with ball speed. To be honest, on the main tour, a mixture of the CB and then obviously a lot of them still use the blade.
Yeah.
And you will see quite a few combo sets as well. That's another thing that's quite
popular
popular. So it depends on like male and female, and obviously out there just on your ability, like you'll get a lot of good players using that iron, but obviously because it's got a little bit of technology, and for some of the stronger hitters on the men's tour, you might find that's a little bit too fiery, a little bit too powerful. So.
And what do you fit most people for?
To be honest, when we're out on the road, we obviously see more. I see more kind of middle of the road kind of players. So I don't fit many blades anymore, really, unless someone comes specifically and asks for one.
Try and steer them away from it.
Well, just think you're making it a lot harder for yourself than it needs to. I mean, most guys I know that are good players are just using cavity backs now. You just don't see a lot of blades anymore, do you? I don't think anyway.
No, I would totally agree. I've gone away from that in my
set. Yeah, me too.
It's mad to see on here. So you've got. You can drill, and I guess you can drill things out on here.
We can drill things out there, drill the hosels out, whatever we need to do there.
This is where you can. Is this where you can bend driver heads, isn't it?
Yeah, change line angle. That's obviously been used there with some kind of 3HL fairway wood in there. Then there's a few different, obviously loft and line machine, the Mitchell one there. That's very sort of popular. That's kind of everywhere. So that's a digital gauge, so that'll obviously tell you loft and lie. And then a couple of different swing weight machines. So. Obviously, swing weight will be really important for these guys, so obviously that's just a balancer, and then there is a digital one at the back there. And then different types of grinders and blasters, so we can do all sorts of the wedges there and the soles, and then all different kind of weights, and then you're kind of away there, really.
I find it mad how big and spacious this is. Like, been on a few different tour trucks now, and this one feels the biggest. Okay, so we've looked at drivers, we've looked at irons, looked at wedges.
Yep.
I want to look at some head covers now, because every time you see like the Open, the US Open with some cool head covers, but also putters.
Yeah.
This week is the Masters.
Yep.
And there's a really popular putter that I want to have a look at.
Yeah,
so can we have a look at this here?
We'll show you. And in a couple of different styles as well. So the most played putter this week at the Masters is the Jailbird, which is great for us. Obviously, it's a model we've just relaunched this year, and to be fair, the reason it's kind of come back is because a lot of players,
Ricky being one of them.
Ricky, Wyndham, Clark, there's loads of guys on tour who have been using this putter model. So we were getting asked for it a lot. So as a result, it's coming back. And that one there is the Cruiser model. So that's a.
Can I give you that?
Yeah.
I'm about to rob that and take that away.
That's a 38-inch one, which is what.
It's nearly a belly putter for me.
It's a bigger putter than it's a bigger putter than standard. But the idea there is the counterbalance element. So you're going to hold it more in the middle of the grip, and then that'll give you a little bit more control when you're holding it. A little bit heavier, obviously.
Yeah,
so,
I love the weight of that.
So that's as you can see here, the shaft weight in this one is 140 grams, whereas the regular one's only 90. So the shaft's almost twice. It's 50% more weight in there.
That's so nice. That.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, we've had a lot of early success with that. It was launched early March, but in terms of supply, we're trying to keep up with the demand for it. So 3 different versions there. Obviously, you can see the Cruiser head's a little bigger from back to front. These two are known as the Minis, and obviously with the different necks there, with the crank neck and then the regular double bend in there. So it's great that putter's getting so much traction. Obviously for us, the price point of these putters, $249, not too expensive.
No.
Good price point, and obviously the technology with the new inserts is all about trying to get the ball speed across the face. So we put these little windows in underneath, which is quite cool, so you can see the actual insert through there. But the idea, what we're trying to encourage here, is if you hit the left or right hand side of the face there, you will get the same pace sitting out the middle.
I guess it's like what you see in all the drivers now. Like, everybody just thinks, oh, okay, I've got to have consistent ball speed across the face of the driver.
Absolutely.
But actually, on this, the club that you use the most, but we all forget,
so
you want it on this.
So important.
Now, this is seriously cool. I want to have a look at these. I saw these as I came in.
Like, obviously, everyone likes the kind of custom models and stuff. Look at that. So that one is from the Cron the European Open in Switzerland. Obviously, with it being a watchmaking country. So that was the one we used for there last year. This was the one from the BMW at Wentworth, which is really cool. So it's got like an old BMW car on there. Bit of M Sport.
In there.
Nice that. So again, I mean, we do quite a lot of them, and we sell some of them. We'll get some of them into the public domain so people can buy them. Sometimes just give them away on our sort of social media channels. And then, to be honest, all the new Jailbird head covers come with this really cool. That was the original Jailbird logo. So any of the ones that the public buy with that will come with that nice, cool head cover.
Awesome.
But I like a little bit of a custom head cover as well. So.
And there'll be a few obviously coming up this year that we don't know for the Open
and
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there'll be one. There's usually one for each major. They've done one this week for the Masters. It's obviously got the flowers on. So it's quite cool.
Well, Tom, thanks so much
No
for showing
problem
us
at all.
around the tow truck.
Yeah, nice to have you. Thanks for your time.
I do hope you enjoyed this, and what a look round this place. I mean, look how big it is. Like, if I stand in here now, the size of this is unreal. I do hope you enjoyed another look inside a tow truck here at Scottsdale Golf. Now, don't forget to get down in the comments and let me know what you want to see next here on the channel. You power this channel, so whatever you say, I look through the comments personally and I'll reply to them, and hopefully we can try anything or do anything you say. Thanks for watching.